Hello everybody and welcome to a new series I'm trying out called Should You Try, where I try a game on Xbox Gamepass and let you know if it's worth checking out. For anyone who doesn't know, Xbox Gamepass is a subscription service that allows Xbox users to pay a monthly fee in order to have access to an array of games. To kick off this series, I played Dicey Dungeons. Dicey Dungeons is a roguelike deck building game developed by Terry Kavanagh. It's available on pretty much all consoles, PCs, phones, and tablets. And get ready for a whole lot of sixes. So in this game, you have the choice of 6 characters that must complete 6 episodes that are made up of 6 floors. You must clear 6 floors to complete an episode, and on the final floor, you'll face off against a random boss character. Each floor will have a map that has some combination of enemies, equipment upgrades, equipment sales, equipment trading, health, and equipment duplication. When you fight an enemy, you will need to use dice in order to use your equipment. Your equipment will vary each run and will either support you, inflict status, attack an enemy, or bolster your defenses. Some equipment is straightforward to use, inflict damage based on the dice number, heal based on the dice number, inflict status based on the dice number. Other equipment will have a countdown mechanic where you need to run the counter down to 0 before you can use the equipment's effect. Now that I've given a breakdown of the game, let me tell you the parts that I enjoyed the most. For one, I found this to be a very addicting game. I had a blast figuring out how to use each character and how to beat each episode. As you get closer to episode 6, the difficulty spikes because of the rules that the game throws at you. The challenge had me coming back and replaying episodes until I beat them, constantly tinkering with my equipment until I found just the right setup that allowed me to get to the final boss and clear the episode. There's a ton of replayability in this game, and you will be coming back and back again until you figure out how to use the character and the equipment in the most efficient way. The next thing I really enjoyed about this game was how fun it was to mix up the different equipment. You can build your character how you want each run. You want a tanky, high damage smasher? You can do that. You want a status caster? You can inflict multiple status and blessings in one turn? You could do that too. You want to give in and have a character built around luck? This game allows you to do that too. There's a ton of variety and mix up in this game, and I had a blast going back, tinkering with each character as I wanted to clear each episode and making a ton of different characters. I would build characters that were centered around inflicting poison. I built characters that would cast 3 different statuses in one turn. Characters who would inflict massive amounts of damage to the enemies while also throwing it right back at me. There's a big variety of mix-up in this game, and while certain mix-ups work better than others, you're not limited to one particular playstyle. You can play this game however you want and make the equipment the way you want. The last thing that I really enjoyed about this game was that it was simple yet challenging. The game is really simple. You get dice, use the dice to use the equipment, beat enemies up, level up, get some more dice, rinse, repeat, clear the floor, make it to the boss, beat the episode, and repeat. It's a straightforward game, and there isn't too much complexity in it. While it may lack complexity, it does not lack in giving players a challenge. You will die a lot, and that's not a bad thing. That adds back to the replayability of this game, and it's a part of this game that comes with figuring out how to use each character's strength and weaknesses. So again, while you may not find this to be the most complex game, it's simple enough that it's easy to play, easy to go back to, and easy to have a good time with. Now on to some of the things that I didn't like about this game. So number 1, I didn't like that there was not a save feature. What this meant is that if you died at any point during the run, you would have to redo the entire episode. So if you made it to like the 6th floor, final boss, and you died, that's it. Gotta redo the entire episode. There is a way to redo a fight that you know you're going to lose, but the game doesn't explicitly tell you. So if you don't know how to do that, you're going to find yourself getting really frustrated if you die and then have to redo the whole episode. Just so you know, if you want to redo a fight, all you need to do is open up the start menu during the fight, quit to the main menu, and then reload the game. But again, if you don't know this and you die, you're going to have to redo the whole episode. And for me, that was my biggest source of frustration for this game for like the first 10 hours or so, because I would get so far into the episode and then I would have to I would die and have to redo the entire thing. So just something to keep in mind is that there isn't a save feature. You can only redo fights. The next thing that I had an issue with was that there wasn't enough equipment that casted status damage. What I mean by this is that as you play through each episode, you'll encounter enemies that are weak to certain status. For example, some enemies will be weak to shock damage, some will be weak to fire damage, others are strong against poison damage. There's a big variety of enemies' effectiveness to different statuses that I feel I didn't really get to take advantage of in this game, because for one, your equipment is limited to 6 blocks and each piece of equipment will take either 1 or 2 blocks. So you can really at most have 6, at minimum have like 3 pieces of equipment attached at once. So depending on the build you're using, you may not be able to like have a variety of status, or for that matter even have the equipment that casts like certain damage, because you really don't start getting better equipment until around the 3rd floor. So I feel like this game didn't really allow you to equip enough equipment to like take advantage of the weaknesses, and it also didn't really give a lot of equipment that casted damage, the elemental damage. So I found that really the most useful equipment was like fire for dealing with like the eddies and snowmen, because they had a really annoying effect where they would freeze your dice, which reverted your dice back to 1. But other than that, I didn't really find it necessary to like use like shocking equipment on Stereo Head, or use like shield damage for other enemies that are weak to shield. It's kind of minor, but that was one thing that I wish I was able to do more, because the enemies are all really the same. So like every time I would see Stereo Head, I was like, okay, I wish that I had something that dealt shock, but I just didn't have that. Overall, I had a blast playing this game, and I think you will too. So if you're looking for a game to play on Game Pass, definitely give this one a try, and hopefully you have as much fun with it as I did. And that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.